Bike group trouble and returning champion Kate Waugh injures herself in the final meters. This was the T100 Vancouver. We are in Canada, and some of the favorites include local hero Paula Findlay, also here Julie Derron after another Ironman in Switzerland. Imogen Simmons, she was second in that same Ironman. Georgia Taylor-Brown, she won last time in Spain, and Kate Waugh, the returning champion. We line up at the swim. Pretty much all the favorites line up somewhere, but not one point was better than another point. I think today closest to the camera though is Taylor Spivey, and she straight away in this swim, as we see that it's obviously a wetsuit swim, she takes a very different line. You see her here on the right hand side, quite far away from the rest of the group. In front though we have Kate Waugh driving the pace, Lena Meissner there in second place, Sara Perez-Sala only for her in third, with Imo Simmons in fourth place. And after Simmons there's already a little gap forming, and on the back straight we see that the gaps are now already after just one lap starting to balloon. We have many different lines going towards the Aussie exit, which I find very interesting. I'm not sure which one was the fastest though, but yeah, every athlete took a bit of a different line, and Kate Waugh leads us out of the water. Perez-Sala in second, Meissner in third, Simmons in fourth, Spivey in fifth place. Somebody who's very far behind though are the two Swiss athletes, Siffert and Derron. You see on the left hand side the gap is 41 seconds after just one lap, and over the second lap the gaps only go out even further. We had at the front, we had Waugh, Perez-Sala and Meissner. These were the three women that basically drove the pace, as we have on the back straight again the separation we see, and on the back straight also Taylor Spivey, she takes the lead for the first time in the swim, and she's also the fastest swimmer today because she leads us out of the water and into transition one, with the gaps being very big for a T100 race. Kate Waugh with a very fast transition, and this leads to her being very far in front of everybody else out on the bike. Taylor Brown 50 seconds behind, and this is a very big group Taylor Brown is in. But she and also Hannah Berry behind, who's now coming, they take a lot of time getting onto their bikes. So something that they maybe should focus on a bit more, because you lose a couple of seconds to this woman, to Kate Waugh, who's right at the front at this point. And she's finally back after her injury. And so this is the first time we actually see her on her new Cervelo bike with her new position. I made a video about her position, so check that out if you want. That's on the channel. And she's looking absolutely dialed and just as powerful, probably more powerful than ever before on the bike. Behind Georgia Taylor-Brown, she actually a minute behind, that's decent. She can work with this. Julie Derron, a minute 10 behind Alana Siffert, just a little more, a couple more seconds behind. And so as they start their laps, Derron and Siffert and Georgia Taylor-Brown, they are on a mission. Siffert, she's also catching up with this group, but this group is swelling. Every second there is another athlete coming, you feel like, because from behind there is still Hannah Berry in this group, and also Paula Findlay, she's also in this group. And so this gets incredibly gnarly here. You see Georgia Taylor-Brown, she's not really happy with Bogen there, who doesn't really overtake Julie Derron, even though she is clearly in the red light. And yeah, so basically these are all athletes that are just constantly in the red light through these corners right here. And Paula Findlay is even behind Georgia Taylor-Brown, excuse me. But Georgia, she plays it smart. She sees there are 6 athletes or more in front of her, and so up this hill for the first time she just stays behind, takes on some nutrition, and she completely keeps out of it, which I think is the right call, because it is so tough to actually manage to do this correctly and to not just spike your power because you have to overtake because you've been in the red light from the other athlete again. Technical official, obviously a group this big, you see here it's like 3 wide. And I think the only reason these women did not get huge amounts of penalties was because we are going uphill, and so the referees actually did a very good job, I think, here, because this group needs sorting out, and on a climb as well, the drafting is so marginal, it doesn't really matter. But here's what happens when you enter the red zone. This is Bianca Bogen on the right hand side. You see her in this pink suit, and she entered the red light, and she now has to go around all of these athletes. It's so tough once you have been in the red zone to get out of it again, because now Findlay, she's obviously also trying to make the gap, but Bianca Bogen has to get in there, and even Siffert and Derron, they are still within the 20 meters. So in theory she should have even gone past them, but they are now pushing on so hard that Bogen still, an insane amount of power needed for this, just for gaining a few positions basically. Georgia Taylor-Brown, meanwhile, she played it very, very good. She only tries to make up positions on the top of the climb once the group is a little more stretched out. Emma Simmons, she caught up with Kate Waugh, and it's now on the Swiss duo Derron and Siffert together with Georgia Taylor-Brown to try to get this gap to the front two athletes down lap 2. And Simmons actually created a little bit of a gap here on Kate Waugh, but everything would come back together. And the group behind, Findlay is there, Sara Perez-Sala is there, and Julie Derron, she's actually broken away a little from Siffert and Georgia Taylor-Brown behind, who are making their way towards her up this climb again. And this is basically how we are stacking up. So around 15 seconds from Derron to the leaders. And I want to mention something here because it's outrageous. Look at towards the front. The first person riding this bike here, that is not an athlete. This is somebody who's just out for their Sunday ride, and I'll fast forward here, but this is insane to me. You see that there's a barriered off part of a road. My first instinct would be to not just go there and ride there. Then you have the camera motorbike who's putting pressure on you. And even though the athletes overtake you, you just go straight back again. It's not a Jaco Alula World Tour rider, by the way. He's just some amateur with the Colnago bike. But what are we doing? Honestly, get out of the way. You have no business being there. Just something, this gets my blood boiling, to be honest. But anyways, behind the group, still these shenanigans they went on and on and on because nobody really could break away. But the gap from this group here to the front is only around 27 to 30 seconds at this point. And so we are thinking that this might all come together as Findlay made the bridge to Kate Waugh as well. And she had really good legs considering she only did her first Ironman 3 weeks ago. Derron, she's the next athlete to also catch up with this front group. And she also, she makes her way to the front and pushes on as well. But unfortunately for everybody else, here's Alanis Siffert. She does not get on. She has a gap of 21 seconds now. But unfortunately for her, Kate Waugh has a problem. And that problem is that she's probably not the strongest runner in this field. And so she's very smart tactically here. She pushes on and tries to get away from the group, from Findlay, from Derron, and from Simmons, because she knows if she takes these women to the run at the same time, she will absolutely not win this race. And so she takes a little risk and actually tries to create some separation, which she does, which is very smart and which I give her a lot of credit for, because usually athletes don't do this as much as I personally would like. But there is another topic that I want to talk about, which is normally the topic of Pat Lemieux from Pro Tri News podcast, and that is the cones. In this race today, I do not understand them. So we start right here going up this hill. What are these cones? In the middle of the road, you just leave cones for whatever reason. Now, if you crash in there, that's still your fault because they stood there every lap. But why are they there? They have no business being there. The same goes for here, for this little provisional road they did. Why do you put cones there? Now, is it the coloring? Do you fear that the athletes don't see the coloring? I don't understand it. The same goes here. You have both sides buried off, and in the middle you put cones. There's nobody there. I do not understand this. And here again, you have cones on this stretch of the road. Why maybe not just tell the athletes to please ride on the right-hand side again? So there is, first of all, more gap between both athletes. And second of all, why are there no cones here? You see on the left-hand side an athlete flying down as well. I know that they need space and margin for error on this descent, but still put cones either everywhere or nowhere. This something needs to change there. Sara Perez-Sala, she gets a penalty though, 1 minute for drafting. And Kate Waugh, technically as well, just 2 corners here. She's very, very decent when it comes to riding corners on this time trial bike, especially on this kind of cobble sector, I guess. And so she goes into the final lap with around half a minute gap on the women behind, and this gap only goes out even further. Up the hill again, the gap has gone out again, and Findlay, who was on track to catch her would get caught again. And behind Taylor Brown actually loses a lot of time. Siffert as well, 1 minute 58 behind a Siffert, Taylor Brown 1 minute 30 behind. And this is interesting, but Waugh was just very, very strong on the bike today, and so she makes her way into transition in first place, which is something that we all kind of expected, but her shape was really good this race. And I do want to talk a little about this transition, because Kate, she is an absolute master at this. Perfect dismount, and then unfortunately we don't see her feet, but she actually puts socks on here and shoes as well, and she is out extremely quick. You see, she's already got both shoes now on. She only needs to take the helmet off, and straight away she's out. Imogen Simmons, who comes in behind with Paula Findlay just behind her as well. These two take a lot longer for their transition, and as they already put on their shoes, Julie Derron just flew through the picture, and she actually goes from 4th place into transition into 2nd place, because all she does, look at this, helmet off, both shoes on, no socks for Julie Derron. That's something quite usual for her at the T100, and she's out straight away, and she's actually faster than Imo Simmons and Paula Findlay, who came in well before her. Top right of your screen, 29 seconds, Simmons 49, and Alanis Siffert, she also very fast transition. So the Swiss duo, coached by Brett Sutton, I think, Brett, he's somebody, it seems like, that values this a lot, and they have incredibly fast transitions. Taylor Brown also out on the run course, and this is basically how we're stacking up. The run, Simmons 50 seconds behind Waugh, Findlay behind that, Siffert a minute 48 behind, Bogen and Taylor Brown around 2 minutes behind. And at this point, we're thinking maybe even Alanis Siffert, if she can repeat her Roth run, then maybe she can actually go towards the podium here, but unfortunately she can't. Findlay catches Simmons, and Kate Waugh, for the beginning of this run, she was very strong. I was a little surprised, I think she was as well, but her run shape was very good, considering that she was injured basically on her calf throughout the first part of the season, lapping Lizzie Rayner here as well. But behind Julie Derron, she makes a little mistake here by going for the water bottle a bit late, and then leaving this, not grabbing it basically, but that didn't do too much damage to her. After 3 laps, she's 43 seconds behind, and this is where the race really changed. Findlay and Simmons around 1.5 minutes behind, and Taylor Brown 2 minutes behind. But Julie Derron, over the second part of the run, she would make up time quickly on Kate Waugh. So lap 3 of 6, beginning of lap 3 of 6, it was 45 seconds from Kate Waugh to Julie Derron, and as they come towards that same point again of the course at the end of lap 3, she's already visible in the distance, only 20 seconds gap at the last checkpoint, and now the gap is already quite a bit closer for Julie Derron, who she was just running as she used to run before the T100 Spain, where she had a little bit of a down run, I would say. But she goes past Kate Waugh, accelerates a little bit, absolutely no chance for Waugh to do anything. And here is another situation where super shoes might not be the best choice. So you see we have a gravel path, and Kate Waugh actually gets a stone stuck there. So she has to break her rhythm. Nothing too crazy, but just something to note, that shoe choice is actually very important. Paula Findlay at this point 2 minutes behind, still in 3rd place, but unfortunately for her, for the home hero, Georgia Taylor Brown, she was just a little too fast today after Spain. Another very good run performance from Georgia Taylor Brown, and so going into lap 5 of 6, so second to last lap, penultimate lap, she overtakes Paula Findlay. The camaraderie seems decent between the T100 women. They are quite friendly with each other, and Paula, she also had a very good race here. Somebody who didn't have a great race, Alanis Siffert, 7th place. You see she's running 3:52 per kilometers. Just for reference, for the marathon in Roth, she ran 3:55, so something is up there. I don't understand how you can only be 3 seconds faster at a T100 race compared to an entire marathon. But not that I could run this, obviously, but I'm just saying she's going to do Kona next year, and she's going to do great. Julie Derron, this was her race once again after a very good 2025 season. Into the last lap, she goes with a gap of 1 minute already on Kate Waugh, and there was no chance for anybody. Taylor Brown, she still 3rd place, very good result for the overall championship. Kate Waugh, also a a very, very good result for her because, yeah, after this injury to come back like this, very strong, but there was nobody touching Julie Derron today. She was clearly the best athlete. Very strong bike and a very strong run as well. After a bit of a, I don't want to say concerning, but a bit of a weaker swim from her, she wins, very deserved. And Kate Waugh, coming around this corner, she actually injures herself. So you see she touches this edge of the barrier with her elbow, and you see from another angle that this is not visible here. So yeah, she was cooked, and then things like this happen. I don't think that this was necessarily a big issue because usually you have to leave a bit of space to the barriers anyways. She gets hurt, but not too much, comes in second place, and Georgia Taylor-Brown, another podium. She's very good for the overall classification here. Paula Findlay in fourth, Imogen Simmons in fifth. Bianca Bogen actually also a very good result, sixth, so another top 10. Siffert disappointing. Spivey did not have the run performance she might have hoped for. She had a very busy part of the season as well. And Hannah Berry and Van der Kay round out to top 10. I hope you liked this video. Consider subscribing, and I will see you soon with the next one. Bye bye.